What's it like for a 16-year-old on her first missions trip? Grace Mitchell, my daughter, traveled to the African nation of Mozambique and experienced firsthand what it's like on the mission field.
Everyone should have this experience.
Grace spent a week at the Zimpeto Orphanage of Iris Ministries just outside Mozambique's capital of Maputo. Here they care for 350 orphans, from infants to teenagers, host a school for the community, and use the facility as a base for ministry outreaches.
I expected nothing like this. The kids are just so loving and they want your attention and everything like that. And I thought it would be depressing, not like this at all. But they just come up to you and climb all over you and pull you to the ground, play on you, just give you so much love.
Most of us have a very narrow view of what missions is about. Many of us think that missions is simply going into deepest dark Africa and getting boiled in a pot or something like that. There's huge opportunities for missions.
Those opportunities include caring for babies, many infected with the AIDS virus. Others include simply cleaning up, working with the students at the school, or community outreaches. One of the most dramatic outreaches goes to a place called the Boqueria, an area next to the city dump. The dump appears otherworldly. Here, hundreds of people eke out a living off the refuse of others. It's a barren place, but fertile ground for the seeds of the gospel. Right next to this brutal poverty, they've planted a church. It provides spiritual hope, physical nourishment, and joy in the face of crushing circumstances. During Grace's own mission experience, she found she wasn't alone. Pastor Kathy Gray brought this team from Australia, the 9th time she's exposed people to life on the mission field.
They all say they don't want to go home, and yet in going home, they go home as changed people. You can't ever be the same again after experiencing a place like this where Jesus is and His love is. I think it's priceless.
I feel that I'm not going home the same, so it has been life-changing.
Part of Gray's team included this mother and daughter.
Just today, just had some time together and just cried together. Because, yeah, I think that there's even a greater connection between her and I because of it.
I was actually just saying to Mum today that maybe God had to bring us all the way to Africa to really connect us.
This team from Youth with a Mission came to Zimpeto on their way from New Zealand throughout Africa.
The children really just break your heart. I mean, you hear their stories and just everything that they say and everything they do, and just they're so focused on God in a way we can't really imagine in the States.
But many say missions are not just for the young.
Since I retired at 60, I've been on 4 mission trips. 1 to the Philippines, 2 to China, and this one to Africa. And on every mission trip, I've seen God work miracles.
Many say meeting people is one of the benefits of missions. Grace found friends her own age among the Australian group. They all made friends with the children of the orphanage and spent time together, whether playing tic-tac-toe in the sand or letting the African girls braid their hair. But Grace and others spent only a short time away from home. What about long-term missionaries? It would be misleading to think the mission field is not without risks. But many of those serving full-time, like Sarah, believe the rewards far outweigh the risks.
The biggest risk for me was just leaving my family and friends, but I've come here and been surrounded by so many people who love me, and these boys and the older youth and just even the missionaries. There's such an incredible sense of community here that I don't even feel like I've lost anything.
Grace experienced that community briefly. How would she sum up a week on the mission field, where it was a time to make friends, comfort the poor, and share the gospel?
Now that I've been here for a week, you can see the living conditions and you see how rough it would be to live here. That I just have so much more respect for everyone and how they live.
We believe the words of Matthew 28 is for all Christians, all believers, to go into the world and share the gospel. And if that be in Mozambique or in America, in their own hometown, in their own community, or whether it be in a place like Mozambique.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Mozambique.